I
Oh, I
tried.
do think if
I
we had
tried
focus
before.
spaces
What?
recorded, we could upload them to a channel on YouTube shared. So, like, if you do one, you can share it. If I do one, I could share it on the same channel. But they need to be focus spaces, not like the type I just had. So, like, on a topic.
Yeah, very, very much focused. I'm not talking about us chit chat spaces. What I'm saying is, it might be a good idea to have focus spaces where people are asking questions, people are very aware that they're going to be shared um, and recorded and put up on YouTube. That's a very different thing um, as regards how we go instead of this kind of chit chat. What I also wanted to do, and I tried this about a year ago, and I said, look, you can send me stories, and I'm gonna share them on a on a blog. Um, People were very, 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 very reluctant to do such a thing, and that's fair. I
Where
get
they
that.
weren't identified?
Well, I said they could send it to an email address, and it would be, if you wanted to send me stuff, um, you know, nobody needs to know who you are. You could send it to this email address, and this is the way it works. Um,
Why are
if
you saying they were reluctant? What was your plan? Like the story of their Ragdi child and how they got him out of it, or what would the
no,
structure be?
no, I just, I just thought, oh, just, just send me stories eh, eh, about, you know, about this particular issue that you're talking about, and whether it's ROGD or whether it's
Yeah, she was trying to give anyone a voice who was affected by the trans stuff.
yeah,
If they wanted to send her a letter she would set up an email address for it and she would put
yeah,
it on the blog for them. But they
I
were
did.
obviously women are wary because they're like, well, we don't know
Mhm.
each other on Twitter really. But
I didn't have a big following, to be fair, so that's probably why it didn't work. But I only got like two stories, and I answered those women and said, look, I can't really do it with just two stories. But I think I still think it's a good idea. Several women have sent me stories, and they're going, "What am I going to do with this, Claire? What should I do with this?" And I would love to be able to share them, but I know that they want to remain anonymous. That's kind of the point, you know. I really
Sometimes
worry.
it is hard to anonymize your story.
So the idea of the space was figuring out, or like raising our left foot and swearing to be part of a club that is going to try not to be reactive and try to let what in the long term or short term are actually meaningless things and just focus on the prize and not be reactive. And if we want to snap at somebody and rip their head off, think about it. We can argue and block all the people we don't like later after we win. That was what I was thinking anyway.
play nice, but I just block people because if they're cunts, they just get blocked. That's it. If they're an arsehole to me, they get blocked. If they're doing my head in, they get blocked. Sometimes for me, it's just easy to block people on here.
The part that I keep getting hung up on are the people who are deliberately provocative and slag us off in quote tweets and stuff just to fuck around with us. But what I was more expressing is, in a bunch of our out of space communications, people are saying, oh, block this person because blah, blah, blah. But like 3 days later, you're like, who was that? What DM group is that? There's no organization at all. So,
Yeah, and I'm also sick of women posting or tweeting things like, if anybody is following this person or this person, you better just block me now, or whatever it is. And I'm just like, going to fuck off with that
that is so
bullshit.
weird. That is so weird. It's like we're little toddlers Go
And then the
away.
worst thing is, they make up with the person a few weeks later and they're fucking chatting in his face.
Well, a lot of the women on here fight so much, I just gave up on keeping track of the fights because every 3 weeks they'd be best friends. So I just gave up.
If that's what you get from feminists, and these are the women who are supposed to be sticking up for us all, then what fucking chance do you stand? And I'm not trying to, cause a big fuss or anything, but I'm just saying, especially if you come to this as, not a feminist, it's very strange to me that it would mostly be feminists that were doing most of the damage, to me personally, anyway.
What kind of damage were they doing? I guess that's what I'm missing.
They doxed me. Um,
That's
anytime I was like doing a podcast or anything, they would just go into all the, like, on Twitter and just say, why are you platforming this violent criminal? Why are you speaking to this woman? She's this, she's homophobic, she's all the rest of it. Then the trannies and whatever got a hold of my shit. So they've been setting up hate accounts, talking about my kids, my husband, putting pictures of them on. It's just never ending. And then there's just loads of shit that constantly goes on in the background. So much so that I've been asked to go and speak on a panel next year, for women in prison. And I don't even want to tell anybody or say who it is or celebrate it, because I know that these women are still working, and these women don't say anything publicly, they do it behind the scenes. So chances are that they will hound this group so much that want me to speak on the panel for women in prison that I might not get to go. And a lot of them also are anonymous, which pisses me off even more, because they were willing to dox me and put my shit out there while they sat there anonymous.
okay. This is what I really don't understand. Just because you're a radical feminist doesn't mean you can't support straight women married to men with children. I don't know what the differences were between whoever doxed you or not. I mean, I don't know what your personal beliefs are in terms of feminism. But I find just because you're married and you have sons, it's not a reason to dox you. That's what would be a reason to dox you?
I think Stop Lying can probably tell you better. She was there.
Oh, please tell me. I'm curious because this is insane.
It is insane. And I mean, what is the point of feminism if they are going to attack a woman who has been in prison with men?
Thank you, guys. You remember when I said early in the space and throughout that I have trouble balancing being compassionate? Alina, I'm talking to you about people in spaces that you block. Being compassionate with people who are clearly trauma informed and yet are incredibly disruptive or insulting or reactive and blurt out incredibly weird insults when you're talking to a stranger.
I don't feel it. I might be the emotionally crazy one or whatever, but I'm trying to learn. And people, like, sometimes you just don't realise, as I said, don't realise your dad's an AGP, or don't realise that that was domestic violence, or you don't realise that that was this, or you don't realise why that's the way you do certain things you do. So I'm constantly trying to learn and then, like, work on it, and being in these spaces and having to wait my turn, and things that would normally I would take personally just because I don't know why, and I would, like, get worried and whatever. But I don't speak about it on the spaces. I just do it in the background. So
What I was trying to express is this is a perfect example of what the problem is here with women sidestepping away, getting distracted from eye on the prize, from letting things run off their back like a duck that really, 3 weeks later everybody forgot, because you have people who have diagnosable disorders or deep trauma and they can't let go, or they are just in a mean girls gang on here that likes attacking people, and you can never get away from those people, and there's always more of them.
You look up to these women who are, more educated, more sophisticated, a better class, and I'm trying to learn from them and take your turn and be polite and all the rest of it. But it's very, very confusing.
You've made great strides since I first met you. My God, I mean, think of what we were talking about 2 years ago compared to now and everything else. You've come an enormously long way. I'm very proud of you.
I completely misunderstood what you two were talking about when I came into the space. So let me apologize. I thought you were saying people were blocking you, not you were blocking people attacking you. I completely misunderstood what you were referring to. So
Oh, don't
I
worry about it.
apologize.
Because
I apologize.
No, don't be silly. It's just a BS space, because we also were talking about people who'd blocked us, so we couldn't get into spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I thought people were just blindly blocking other people.
No, but I'm a nasty woman that was blocked by a man that hosts a lot of GC spaces, and we've had a bit of backwards and forwards. We've got an awful lot of people that give themselves or have
fuck
some
off,
sort of.
Spikey. If people start talking in generalisations, I can't keep up. I just turn off. Like, what are we bloody talking about?
There's people wandering around calling themselves radical feminists that radically attack a lot of women. And that, for what I actually had a situation where I was saying on my profile, I put not a feminist, because I didn't want to be associated with people that will behave like that. And then a lot of feminists got upset with me for saying that. So now I put renegade lesbian. What are they? Professional radical feminists, or people that are academically professional radical feminists, have gone after women mercilessly in many situations, and it just doesn't feel like that's what you do.
yeah, because when you started speaking, Alina, you said, why would one woman block another woman in a space? I was like, what? This is what I wanted the space to be about for 12 hours, is how we stop getting distracted by relatively small things that are still important. Every time we're slagged off because somebody who doesn't like us because we kicked them out of our space screams at us, and then our friends, like, we do it in public and nobody has the maturity to say, hey, let's scream at each other in GMs and DMs or for 2 hours, or get on WhatsApp or Jitsi, and don't let it affect. That's what we were discussing last spring. Don't let it affect the bigger groups of women. We're still when we're piled on, or we're piling on people, it still goes on for days. Maybe we should have a day. We should have a gossip day, like every Thursday, and just, have a space for gossip.
It's not gossip, it's passing on
Right, fuck off,
information that's
man. Stop
relevant.
lying. Is literally had a hand up for about 3 days, man. Go and let her go.